I'm Savannah Bard, and this is my dramatic interpretation for the 2021 season, and it is titled A Danger to Herself or Others. When I first got here, when they first brought me here, a man led me up 2 flights of stairs and down a long hallway to this room with vomit green walls, because someone thought it was a good idea to paint the walls vomit green. It's a 8-foot by 7-foot room, and I don't mean feet as in 12 inches, I mean the number of steps it takes to get from one side of the room to the other. I guess I should have been counting my days instead of my steps so I can know how long I've been here. As of 2014, over 170,000 residents were living in psychiatric hospitals across the United States. Personally, knowing the struggle of living with mental illness, I can relate to the story of Hannah Gold. After a tragic accident with her summer camp roommate, she soon becomes one of the many who have been labeled a danger to herself or others by Liz Schmall. When I first got here, I came calmly and quietly because I knew it was all just a misunderstanding that would eventually get figured out once Agnes's parents had some time to calm down. She'd been in the ICU for 2 weeks since they brought me here. I sat with her for the first 48 hours until her parents got there, and after that I wasn't allowed to see her. Too old for these games, too old for these games. I hear the words over and over like a song I can't get out of my head. It's Agnes's voice I hear, not my own, like she's in the room with me, but she's not. Too old for these games, too old for these games. You're never really too old for the games. The games just change. Lightfoot interrupts my thoughts as she walks in the room. That's not her real name, Dr. Lightfoot. Her real name's Per Quran, but I call her Lightfoot because she wears ballet slippers that tap, tap, tap with every step she takes. She comes by every day with a folding plastic chair that she sits with her back facing the vacant second bed. While I'm on the first, she comes by and she asks me questions about how my day's going, and we have therapy. Every day she comes by and she has a bodyguard. Well, they say he's a nurse, but he's more of a bodyguard because Dr. Lightfoot doesn't feel safe alone in a room with me. Because I have been labeled a danger to herself or others. Another phrase that floats through my head, though not in anyone's voice. No one has ever said that to me. No one would have ever said that about me before they brought me here. I saw it written on the first page of my file when Lightfoot held it out to me. My name was typed at the top of the page, Hannah Gold. Beneath that was my date of birth, my address in New York, and my medical history. Beneath that were 2 bullet points. Hold for observation, and patient may pose a danger to herself or others. Patient may pose a danger to herself or others. Too old for these games, too old for these games. So a couple days pass by, and I find myself laying down and staring at the ceiling, thinking at least the ceiling is white and not vomit green. Footsteps. The sound of the door opening. I don't have to take my eyes off the ceiling to know that it's Lightfoot tap, tap, tapping and Stephen in his big black boots, but there's another pair of footsteps that I don't recognize. Slap, slap, slap. Bare feet. There's a girl standing behind Dr. Lightfoot, and Stephen, even through her veil of dark hair, I can see that freckles dot her face like scars. She's frail and tiny. Once Lightfoot and Stephen leave, I start trying to have a conversation. I'm Hannah. Welcome to my room, I say, calling it my room for the first time. She just offers quietly that her name is Lucy. Hold on, they put another human being in the same room with me. They must think that I'm safe, or no, it's gotta be a test. She must be a student trying to learn and experience it firsthand, and it's a test. She's a medical student, and it's just a test. I can do this. It's just a test. Too old for these games. Too old for these games. But it doesn't take me long to figure out why Lucy's actually here. Until our next meal, that is, which she's done before I'm on my second bite, as she sticks her fingers down her throat and throws up into the bedpan. So much for my theory. She might be a medical student. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. I get up. I start walking, counting my steps. 1, 2, 3. But she sits up and she asks about phone privileges. She says, do you know anything about phone privileges? I don't know squat about phone privileges. Lightfoot didn't tell me anything about phone privileges. No one said anything about phone privileges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I don't know anything about phone privileges. Sorry. All these places work the same. How many of these places has she been to? Gain 1 pound, get an hour online. Gain 2 pounds, get 20 minutes on the phone. Oh my goodness, they put me in here with a real crazy person. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the next time Lightfoot comes by, I ask about phone privileges. So, when can I talk to my parents? Your parents understand that isolation is the best course of action for you. Okay. But no, they don't. She must have talked them into, convinced them into thinking that it is, but it's not. It's not. I'm a minor. You can't keep me from my parents. It's against the law. I can, and we just need to focus on your treatment. What treatment? Therapy? Talk therapy? Therapy can go on for forever. Therapy never ends. As quick as a snake, I grab her plastic folding chair and throw it against the bottom of the green walls. If I had thrown it hard enough, it could create a hole I could crawl through. But it didn't. Instead, it hit the wall and broke into 3 pieces and landed with a crash. They gave me a sedative after the chair incident. Too old for these games. Too old for these games. Patient may pose a danger to herself, or patient may pose. Too old for these games. So a couple weeks pass by, and Lightfoot finally brings her chair back, and she sits down. Stephen's still in the doorway, and she says that I've been improving. Oh my goodness. I have to bite my lip to hide my excitement. But she says that I can have bathroom privileges and I can have shower privileges, and oh my goodness, everything's going to start to feel normal again. I can take a shower. I haven't taken a shower in weeks. Oh my goodness. But we can't let her know that I'm excited. Yeah, okay. So the next couple weeks start to feel normal again. I start to feel like an actual human being. And I know that it's only a couple more days until the trial, and I'm out of here. I can do this. Too old for these games. Too patient may pose a danger. Too old for these games. I'm at the trial. I'm sitting there as as they tell me that Lucy was never there. She was there. We held hands, we read books together, we laughed, we talked, we sang, we ate lunch together. She was there. She was real. It's just a trick. She was real. But then they tell me that the boy I fell in love with at summer camp was never there. He was there. They're just tricking me. He was there. They were there. They were there. So it's Lightfoot's turn to talk as she stands up and she describes that my psychosis is something that I cannot control. They were there. Lucy was there. I held her hand. They were there. Oh my goodness. I severely hurt my summer camp roommate over someone that wasn't there. Lightfoot squeezes my hand to either control me or to calm me down. I don't know which, but too old for these games. You're too old for these games. Patient, my mom's aging you to herself or others. Too old for these games. You're too old for these games. Looks like I'm going back into the padded room so Patient won't pose a teacher to herself or others.